Hey there, StarCraft fans. It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered and your cartoon skin for your Saturday. It's going to be a match between Sacsri and sOrry here on Circuit Breakers. And let's get right on into it. Bottom right-hand corner, it is the red Terran player Sacsri, and in the top left, it is the white Terran player. Did I call him Terran? Red Zerg player? Did I say Zerg? Anyway, he's Zerg. You can see that with your own eyes. In the top left, it's the white Terran player. sOrry. So both these players are Koreans. Both of them used to play for SK Telecom T1 when it was a thing. So I'm expecting a lot from them. This was part of a replay pack I got off of TeamLiquid.net in the forums. If you're interested in getting some incredible games, you can check that out. And it'll be nice. It'll be nice for you as well. Just search Brood War replays in the Brood War forums, and you will be rewarded. Anyway, what are we doing? What are we doing down here, Zerg player? What are you doing for us here on Circuit Breakers, which is generally considered a Terran-favored map? I'm very interested to see what Sacsri is going to do here. I think he has a better resume than sOrry does. If I had to guess who has the better resume here from what I saw on Wikipedia and what I know and whose names I recognize, I would definitely say Sacsri has the upper hand here. And it really looks like he is saving up for that hatch first play, and in fact he is. At about 12 supply, and the hatch is going to go down, no problemo. Very cute drone. Blorp. Sacrificing himself to turn into a hatch at 12. What are you? This got to be scouting, right? This is a scouting drone? It's like, there's no way you go 2 hatch before pool. At all. On the other side, sOrry is just kind of hanging out. Going for his barracks at about 2 minutes. Oh, wait. No. He's been saving up. I was going to say it's late. Command center first. Wow. Gutsy play here out of sOrry. I like it. Command center first play out of him. Drone's going to scout. Is he going to be able to punish this is the question. He did go for a pool rather than an extractor here. Overlord. No, it's a drone. So the drone's going to check that. The Overlord's going to check here, and it is a cross-spawn position. So this is a bit of a lucky play. As he hasn't been scouted yet, he should get away with this. There's really not much that Sacsri can do to shut him down at this stage because he's just been made aware of it so late. But yeah. Got ourselves an SCV heading across the map. Cross-spawn scouting first, recognizing, well, I didn't get scouted by anything yet. Indicates it's probably a cross-spawn scout for my Zerg opponent, although he's checking the top right, so never mind. Maybe that kind of thinking didn't actually apply to him quite yet. Anyway, the drones here are going to fight a little bit, but SCVs are better fighter than drones, and the drone is highly, highly outnumbered. So he has to flee on out of there. He's already taken a couple hits and regenerated that health anyway. So gas coming on in, but yeah, he sees the timing on this. He knows there's no Marines and that the command center is almost done and says, yeah. That was a command center first play. Honestly, going for a third at this position would really not be a problem for Sacsri. I'd love to see a third. He's getting a macro hatch, which is fine, but getting a third base would be better. However, it is Circuit Breakers, right? If you take this base, tanks can set up on the high ground and wreck your day. Same thing to the south. I mean, the expansions are very, very Terran favored, which is why this map is so Terran favored. A lot of places for tanks to set up that are very hard for them to be dislodged from. That's a lair, though. That is a lair. That is a fast lair timing. All right, man. Bunker finishing up. Marines heading on into that bunker. Those of you who are CARBOT fans, did you see the CARBOT StarCraft's finale? It was so good. I really, really enjoyed it. It's a bit longer than usual. Again, it's a finale, so it makes sense. But you should check it out if you haven't. It's fantastic. I love that guy. CARBOT's really talented animator, funny guy too. It's not just that he can make things look, you know, cute and cartoony, but he also has just a good sense of humor about all this at the same time. Metabolic boost on the way. Oh, nice job taking down that SCV. Heard that death sound. Slowling's getting him. That's not easy to do with an SCV that's being controlled by somebody who is good as sOrry is with 300 APM. He is also a bit supply blocked, which is not ideal at this stage of the game. He's got a supply depot just about to finish up there, though. Shouldn't be too bad. Now, what's the lair going to do? Based on the gas timing here, it feels like a Spire. which is how we've seen Zerg players open pretty much consistently on the channel for the last few ZVTs. Look at this SCV scout, though. Wow. He sees the spire. He sees the timing on the spire. He sees there's not a Hydralisk den, so you prepare for Mutalisks. You don't have to prepare for Lurkers. It really is a nice weight off your shoulders when you know what your opponent is up to. You know it's going to take them a while because the spire takes approximately 87 years to complete. And the mutas don't build that fast either. So eventually you're going to want an engineering bay. Oh, he's got one. Great. Eventually you're going to want turrets. Not right now. But this is a lot of lings, actually. A lot of lings out for Sacsri. But that bunker positioning's pretty fantastic. He's really committing to these Zerglings, though. He's trying. Boy, howdy. He is really trying to make sOrry think that he doesn't have to worry about anything until the mutas show up. But immediately, additional supply depots coming up here to protect the bunker from getting surrounded. He knows. That's a scary number of Zerglings at this stage of the game. Look at them coming over. Look at them all coming over here. He's going to jump on this. There's no way. He has to at this stage. He made all these Zerglings. They're not drones. He needs drones. He's at 23 right now. If these lings don't do anything, he is in a terrible spot. Abjectly, unqualifiedly terrible spot. 8 mutas in production. These lings aren't really accomplishing much yet. He needs to wipe out this base, effectively. His third base is incredibly late. His worker count is like 15 below that of the Terran player, which is super bad too. At this stage, a lot of that larva, a lot of those resources went into these lings that aren't accomplishing much of anything at all. Tons of Marines in production. Did he get the turrets up? Yeah, turrets in production on that production tab. 3 of them now. Probably make a couple more here, but army supply is kind of nuts. It's a little bit big for Sacsri, but he needs to make something happen at the 7-minute mark, and he needs to make it happen now. Medics are out, which is really going to help here, just in the nick of time for the Terran player. The mutas are trying to find Marines to pick off on the periphery here. Zergling's coming in, but not overextending himself. sOrry, very, very smartly hanging out near the supply depot, near the bunker. If he needs to fall back into it, he can. Marines inside the main base, too, in case the mutas decide to jump over here. They can get shot at. And yeah, this is just really well defensed from sOrry. There's just nothing the Zerg player can do to win the game here. Sure, he's picking off a couple Marines here and there, but he's also taking hits. Hit after hit after hit here. I mean, the Zerglings are sacrificing themselves. This group, I'm not sure why they're not involved in this. If they'd come in, I think maybe it would have been better, but maybe Sacsri forgot that they exist. Seems entirely possible. So third base up and running for the Zerg player. That's the good news. He was able to keep the Terran player contained. Couple mutas have gone down. Look at how injured these are. So many of them are in the red. So many of them are deep in the purple, too. All the Marines are happy because they have medics. It's 50 to 27 workers right now. sOrry is just killing it. Absolutely on fire. Alright, so all the Zerglings are dead. That's bad news, Bears. And suddenly the mutas can't engage. There's only 7 of them anyway, and they're all in various states of death. Lurker eggs now? I mean, I'd start making them if you can afford it. There we go. Lurker eggs coming up. sOrry wants to get up here fast and kill these eggs before they hatch, but it's so hard to do with Marines. Their little attacks versus all the armor the eggs have is just a rough place to be. These are going to hatch. The question is, can you kill the Lurkers before they burrow here? Mutas, again, trying to do stuff, but just not going well. All right, so that Lurker... Oh, nicely done. The Lurkers survive. One of them is almost dead, but he's got 14 HP, which means he does full damage still. And sOrry has to back out. That was a really, really tight situation for Sacsri. He managed to make it happen. It's pretty much game over at that stage if these guys get in here and kill this third base. It's a 2-basing Zerg versus a 2-basing Terran, and living in that spot is not somewhere any Zerg player wants to live at all. No interest. None. Random Lurkers hiding in the middle of the map. Are they on hold position? They doing the thing? Anyway. Mutaflock, not as good as it used to be. Trying to pick off Marines here and there, but it's not really working out. And it's a Greater Spire. Look who's making a Greater Spire, guys. I don't know about coming in here with 4 lurkers. It seems bad, but coming around the back way may be a better idea. Very smart. I'm liking this out of sOrry. Here's 400 APM, staying consistent. Oh, these lurkers trying to come around and get a wraparound surround on this bio. A little bit too smart for that is sOrry. Not interested in actually losing his ability to retreat. But yeah, suddenly more and more lurkers are here, and yeah, I think very intelligently sOrry decides not to throw his Marines away. He can use them in future battles and be fine. A couple Scourge are already out. Do we have science vessels already, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, science vessel on the way. Whether there's one out already, I don't think there is, but man, that is some preemptive Scourge play for sure. He's got Scourge out and on the map before anything has shown up that can fly. So not bad. All right, so we brought the tanks over to try to take down this third base. Now we're extra scary. The Marines are sitting at 1-1. The tanks don't have upgrades yet, which is to be understood. No upgrades on the lurkers at all. And our Muta group has no upgrades either. So the Terran is not, actually the Zerg player rather, Sacsri is not actually going for the upgrades, which I think is going to hurt him in the long run. Look at him getting consumed. I mean, he's making Guardians. He's got Defilers in production. Actually, not in production, but anyway. Okay, this is going to work. It's a lot of Marines are going to die, but it is going to work. Oh, the Dark Swarm comes up just in the nick of time there. Consume, consume, Dark Swarm, go! Nice Dark Swarm. Doesn't protect the buildings, but does protect the units inside from these ranged Marine attacks. Oh, the Defiler play from Sacsri here is really good. Keeping this base alive is the reason he's not dead yet. Another Dark Swarm like here would be pretty incredible. Hit these tanks from the high ground to the low ground. That'd be good. Guardians harassing a bit at the natural base. I mean, there's a Wraith out to handle them. What is with Guardians on the channel recently? We've seen more Guardians on the channel than anything, honestly, than we have in a very, very long history of the channel. It's been a crazy amount. Scourge do not get hits off on the Wraith. Maybe one, but the Wraith is, you know, able to do a lot of damage versus these Guardians. Anyway, we got more Dark Swarms up, more Lurkers on the ramp. The tanks are getting hit. Group of bio left these Zerglings can handle no problem at all. And by that I mean there's a Marine down there, so he's going to die. But yeah, the Guardians are all dead. The harassment is over. The 3 bases have been secured, and it looks like sOrry here is going to try to take at the top right-hand corner. It's 124 to 81 total supply. The macro here for sOrry has just been fantastic. It's been really good. He's landing a 3rd base here at the minerals only position. Killing these medics seems like a good idea. There we go. It'll take you a while, because again, you do not have any upgrades at all. You're working on 1-1, which is nice, but it's not there yet, so it's not helping you at all. Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. And Lurker's defending this 4th base warp-in too. It's not a warp-in, it's a morphin. What do they call this? Mutating? Mutating in, irradiate being researched. Again, that is the backbone of how you beat Zergs in the late game, is irradiate with science vessels. The more science vessels you have, the more I believe you're going to beat the Zerg player. That's just how it is. Regardless of any other factors. That's really it. If you have 8 science vessels, I feel like you're going to win. Fair or not. That's where we live. Science vessel energy getting researched too. And the Scourge trying to pull back. Pull back! Ah, Scourge die anyway. Lings roll on in. Nice Dark Swarm. But again, all you got to do is just leave. It's just a zoning spell at this stage versus the Zerglings. These medics, though, they're basically out of energy now. So they're going to die. Especially because the Lings have +1 attack now. That helps a lot. Yeah, that 4th base is done. So 3 base in it, 4 base in it Terran versus a 4 basing Zerg. Eventually, we're going to have to see Ultralisks or something here. Nice irradiate on the Defiler. Dark Swarm comes up. Defiler knows he's done. Consume and maybe another Dark Swarm before he dies. No, doesn't get it off. Ah, tragedy is what it is. Drop ships ready to drop inside. Oh, this is bad. This is really, really tough stuff for the Zerg player. We're unloading. Dark Swarm. Okay, but then you just dodge it again. Nice Plague. I'm loving the Plague here. Not that you really necessarily need it against Terran if you have Lurkers, because the Lurkers kind of demolish them anyway. And that's pretty well defended. That is a well-defended little drop here by the Zerg player. Doesn't lose any drones at all. Ooh, kind of walking into Lurkers. Wow. Just does not even care about them at all. +2 attack is done on them. I guess that's part of it. Radiate on the Defilers, but just barely hanging on by the skin of his teeth here is Sacsri. Yeah, the Defilers are all dying, but he's keeping his bases alive. The problem is it's a 4-basing Terran. He hasn't really been able to take a 5th base, because again, all these available bases are these low ground little playpens that the Terran really likes wrecking. It is 7 Ultras in production though, and there really aren't any tanks here. This could be good. Okay, so there we go. Losing one of the science vessels is not great for sOrry. Dark Swarm is up, and we've got a sunken to a trailing Plague or like a... Okay, all right. Well, get a Dark Swarm up before you die. Seems totally fine. Is that a drop? Of course it's a drop. Wow, there's 2 Ultralisk Caverns down here, and they're both getting fired on by these fire bats. Look at these Ultralisks running around helplessly. They don't know what to do. They're getting messed up by their own stuff. Their own buildings are causing them problems. That said, I don't think the drone count has been all that negatively affected. This is a problem, though. Radiate on the Defiler. Again, come on, man. Get back into the front lines. Throw down a Dark Swarm. Throw down another Dark Swarm, maybe. Got to consume up just as he died. That's pretty good stuff. So anyway, drop doesn't do much. It almost kills this Ultralisk Cavern, but they're not dead yet. And it's being used to research anabolic synthesis, which maybe you pick the other Ultralisk Cavern that isn't almost dead would be my recommendation. So yeah, I mean, this is just straight up the Flash style. We irradiate the Ultralisks, we irradiate the Defilers. The Scourge don't get any hits off on our science vessels. We keep those behind unless we're definitely providing detection. He plagued his own Ultras. Plagued and irradiated Ultralisks is just not fair. Look how fast that HP is going down. Oh, that's brutal. That is so, so sad. Tanks rolling into Lurker Fire is not good for them, though. All right, all right. Ultralisk picking off a tank, finishing it off there. Look how long it takes him to die with all these Marines firing on him. He's got his 5 armor. He's working on his 6 armor now, too. All right, so Ultra's causing problems at an attempted 5th base in the top right-hand corner for sOrry. Sacsri's getting some minor victories here. I mean, okay, so you Dark Swarm and you Plague. And the Scourge die to absolutely nothing, which is an issue. And the Dark Swarm holds. So, I mean, the Zerg player is using Dark Swarm defensively as he needs to. He's down 147 to 93 supply, which is not good for him at all. And are we going into tanks or... It's Ghosts. Oh, those are Marines. All right, so it's just Marines, man. I don't know about this. I mean, yes, your Marines are really good. They can eventually kill Ultralisks if you give enough of them enough time. It's really fantastic. But the way I have seen Zerg players beat in the past, when they go for Ultras, is a ton of tanks. Just an absolute ton, like 20, 30 tanks. And then the Ultras all die before they can get anything done. But if all you're doing is bio here, eventually the Ultras are going to get a surround on you and bad things will happen. Nice Plague, though, on the Science Vessels. Very nice stuff. Lurkers getting irradiated. Lings and Ultras getting up this ramp, though. And there we go. Very nice. So a couple tanks are going to die here. Marine gonna die. Maybe getting into this mineral line would be nice, but there's another tank out at the same time. sOrry's heading back down again to try to take down this bottom right-hand corner base of Sacsri's, his home base. And unloading a little bit late from the Nidus canals here. Ultra... Dark Swarm here. Go. He gets it. He gets the Dark Swarm up. All of these science vessels are just prime for the picking. Just absolutely prime for the picking here. One Mutalisk in production. He knows. Sacsri knows how to handle this. The good news for sOrry is he's taken the top right, so he is on 5 bases. Officially, he's sitting at 58 workers to 41 drones. How is it 41 drones for the Zerg player and he's alive in this game? I just don't see it. I don't understand it at all. I mean, it's nice. I don't know if you're going to stand here and fight, though. That might not be a good idea. Yeah, so Irradiated Ultra is hurting each other in the meantime. They do have the speed upgrade. Mutalisk. There you go. There you go. All right, so Science Vessels go down. There's still about 1 million of them. Half of them have been plagued, though. These Ultras going to town on these SCVs. Southern base. This 5th base of Sacsri is entirely undefended and will die. Comsat station. Another plague on those science vessels would be hot. That's a really nice plague. That's a really nice plague. Tons of bio. And the science vessels all catch the jelly. This Ultralisk has 45 HP, 2 kills, but is shutting down all of the mining at that 3rd base before he ends up getting destroyed at the end of days there. I kind of feel like you can go in. Yeah, southern base dies, 5th base is toast. Holding that is, again, he didn't really even attempt to. I don't know why he's not going in here, except for the fact that there are 1 million tanks defending it. And yeah, tank production has kind of become the theme of the day here from sOrry. So the Ultra's effectiveness is going to get less and less as the game goes on here. Radiate from a 3 HP Science Vessel. Dark Swarm, the Ultra dies, the Defiler dies, and then we just move out. That's all you gotta do. Ultra pops down to the south and actually does kill all of this little bio group, which is not bad. Zerglings getting into the 3rd base, going after SCVs. The SCV advantage, the worker advantage right now is not super hot for the Terran player. Not as good as it used to be. I want to say those Zerglings have adrenal glands, but I'm not convinced they do. Trying to pay attention. Oh, Mutalisk. Mutalisk. Beautiful. Mutalisk takes down several of those science vessels. Has 7 total kills. And suddenly this base is in trouble. Hold position. Oh my gosh. The hold position medics are messing with this poor Ultralisk. Oh my gosh, that was sick. What a sick move from sOrry. 3rd base is done, though. All these SCVs are going to die. The Zerglings are 3-2, working on that +3 attack. Gamete Meiosis on the way. So we're going to see Queens. You don't get that upgrade unless you're planning on going for Queens to some extent. I mean, attacking into the natural base is nice, but I really feel like throwing the Might of the Swarm over here at this top right-hand corner would be good, except for the fact that there are tanks. Actually, what are the... Oh, the tanks are here. So the tanks are running around. But if they've abandoned the top right, again, this is ripe for picking. If you can get in there. He just never has had the giant Zerg army that he wants to, you know? Another base up. Very nicely done from Sacsri. He's effectively taken the whole southern section of the map for his. The northern does not entirely belong to the Terran player yet. Yeah, the tank count is just a little intense. Another science vessel down. The control here by sOrry is not perfect. But again, who plays the game perfectly? As has been said time and time again, StarCraft Brood War is a game where the player that makes the fewest mistakes wins. And that's what we're looking at here today. Working on transporting for overlords, working on speed for overlords is already done. So we're going to see a combination of dropping on top of these tanks plus some broodlord spawning. Broodling spawning, apologies. Which we've seen work. We've seen it work against a Terran player using this exact strategy in the past. Another science vessel down. Nice control after doing so well at this. sOrry kind of falling apart. Dark Swarm saves this Ultralisk and does force the entire Terran army to retreat. This has been allowing the Zerg player to drone up a whole ton. He's sitting on 55 drones now to 57 SCVs. This is really, really nice Zerg play here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see any queens in production yet. I don't see any queens on the map either. Might end up getting there. Where did he just plague? He just plagued a single science vessel, which is fine, I guess. Not a bad target. If you're gonna die, plaguing a science vessel is not nice. And he's double expanding to the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock positions. Okay. Sacsri's making his move. He's making his move here. He's basically assuming that he can kind of hold the middle here long enough to get those bases up and then just overwhelm the Terran player when it comes down to it. Nice plague on more of this bile. These poor medics are going to be out of energy here sooner rather than later. No hits on the Scourge, though. That's problematic. But again, having the southern base is really nice. I'm really shocked that sOrry hasn't taken the 12 o'clock yet. But yeah, this 3 o'clock is, it's in trouble versus these +3 attack Marines with, Stim. And they do get the hatch. The left side hatch is dead, too. I mean, that's just a really nice double-pronged attack out of sOrry. Really frustrating stuff if you're Sacsri there. He hoped to keep one of those, I have to assume. Marine just kind of wandering down this way. Hey, guys, what's up? Dark Swarm a little bit late to the party. The hatchery just kind of getting focused down. Another engagement on the right side. Lings and Ultras coming in for a bit of a surprise attack on their side. And Sacsri is holding on by the very skin of his teeth here. Nice Scourge hits. Nice Scourge hits. Got another one. Science vessel count in the immediate area is approximately 0. And honestly, I would just stop making Marines altogether. If I were sOrry, just start making tanks. Fire bats are interesting. I'm okay with that. I can live with that outcome. Okay, so trying to double expand here is sOrry, and he gets punished for it too. So neither player can really get up all of the bases that they want to, but that's totally fine in the long run, I think, for both of them. They recognize, and this is not a game where everything goes your way at all times. Again, plague on the science vessels, really fantastic stuff. That's a canceled hatch, and it is. But this has really been Sacsri kind of keeping the attacks to the middle of the map. He hasn't defended a base in a while, which is exactly where you want to be if you are a Zerg playing against a Terran in the late game. You don't want to be defending. If you're defending, you're doing it wrong. If you're attacking, if you're dealing with Terran armies out in the middle of nowhere, out in the middle of the map, you're doing a much better job of it. Fire bats, though. Fire bats in the mix. And by that, I mean, oh, no! He tried to run into the Dark Swarm, but so many Zerglings died. I think he would have had a better time actually just attacking out there outside of the Dark Swarm, but I don't know. The Zergling is doing all right. He's got 2 kills. He's doing just fine, in fact. Yeah, so Sacsri hasn't really been able to kill a Terran base today, but I'm not sure that it matters at this point. Still not seeing any queens. Again, this is not mass tank by any stretch. We've got a bunch out, but this is not the amount of tank. Oh, this is better. Okay, all right. This is what we're looking at. This is what puts fear into the heart of every Zerg player ever known to man. Is this sort of thing. All right, coming from all angles. This is kind of how you have to do this if you're going to make it happen at all. That Ultra is dead. These Ultras are dead. This is just too many tanks, guys. They don't even have upgrades. That's how good they are. They don't even have upgrades. The Ultras are melting before them, even though they're fully upgraded Ultralisks. Tank good unit. Really good unit. Sacsri's attempt to take the right side base again is shut down by a handful of Marines. It is a maxed out Terran army versus a 134 supply Zerg army here. And this is where we kind of see the futility, you know? Like, I don't want it. I don't want to see this, but man, late game Terran. The tanks, the Marines, the science vessels. 200 to 127 supply. Gonna irradiate. Alright, Scourge hits, not bad. Did he just defensive matrix an Ultralisk? On accident? That was kind of cool if he did. Either way, the army is still alive, and that's all that really matters here. This minerals only base might be in trouble, although a couple Sunkens causes some issues there. I'm really annoyed we're not seeing any drops out of Sacsri. I really feel like it would be fantastic to get some drops in here on top of these tanks, especially because the Marine count is not currently super high. But it looks like everybody's heading over to try to wipe out the third base of the Zerg player. Can he save it? He's the question of the day. Scourge get a hit off. Science Vessel down. Zergling's getting a bit of a victory here. Up on the high ground. That Ultralisk needs to... He's murdering his own Zerglings. No. No. Dark Swarm up. That is the evacuation signal for the Terran player. He just gets out of there. Staying and fighting is suicide. And it does slow down the Terran advance a little bit, but not forever. There's a Broodling. Have we been spawn Broodling on tanks? But where? Where are these mythical queens of which you speak? Red, red, where are the queens? Did they all die? Did they spawn Broodling and then die? Those were Broodlings, man. There's no other way to get those. What an insane scenario here, though. Got Lings jumping on tanks. Just not enough. Just not enough. Zerg, 190 to 124 total supply. Flash has given the blueprint to every Terran player in the world on how to beat Zerg. And it's just this. It's a bajillion tanks. It's science vessels. Maybe it's some Marines. We're going to boxer maneuver here. I mean, okay, science vessels go down. They don't get done as much as they wanted to. It's still 49 drones here at the 31-minute mark. I mean, this has been the scrappiest Zerg performance I've seen in a long time. The macro's been really good for Sacsri. He really wants this base along the right side, though. He needs it because the cost efficiency of the Terran army is so high right now. Science Vessel's getting plagued. Darkstorm comes up. The middle really, really belongs to the Terran here, though. Zerg player wants to hang on to it. He does. Scourge! Okay, a couple Science Vessels down. The Science Vessel killing efforts by Sacsri here today have been really good. Sari's replacing them pretty effectively, though, and that has got to be demoralizing for the Zerg player. Line of tanks coming down. Signals inevitability. Again, your Zerglings can't even run across the open field to do this, really. And sure, a couple more tanks die. Maybe. It's still 185 to 112 supply. I mean, we're making 8 Marines and 3 tanks at a time. Right now is Sorry. He's taking the 12 o'clock position too. He's going to have the whole top half of the map. And again, that matches what the Zerg player has done. But the cost efficiency of the army is just through the roof. 1 kill, 3 kills, 4 kills. I mean, these guys are just racking up the kills. And just constantly reinforcements are streaming out of that main base. Hey, we've got the queens. All right, all right. So the queen curse is as follows. Zerg players that use queens against a tanking Terran have lost on the channel more often than not. I think there's been one example where that curse has not come true. This could be another one, because it's not mass queen. That's the thing. Sometimes we've seen Zerg players go mass queen, as this army does not get cleaned up. This army doing a little bit better. But they have tank support, so that's bad. And the drones are just hovering for their lives here. Zergling, bad rally, bad rally, bad rally. I don't know where these Zerglings are trying to go. I mean, they did wipe out the tank count fairly handily. I mean, there's a couple tanks I see here, a couple tanks there, but the top right, okay, a bunch of tanks there too. But maybe they can wipe out that top base. The Overlords with the vision are allowing this to happen. All right. SCV count going to take a hit here for sure. Both at the 12 o'clock and the one right next door to it. SCV count is going to go below the Zerg players, which is not ideal. I mean, it's still 150 to 120 supply, but it's not the advantage that sOrry has had throughout most of the game. Killing economy is fantastic. Getting, Science Vessel hits. Perfect, too, here. But the Zerglings are just getting massacred. You need the support of the Dark Swarm or the Plague or something if you're going to save these bases. But he just keeps losing them over and over here. The tanks show up and save the 12 o'clock, but it's 43 SCVs to 46 drones. Hey, the tanks are unsieged, which is maybe better for them when there are Lings and Ultras jumping on top of their faces, so that's a possibility. And you know what? These tanks are gone. The Zerg army is not big, but he's making sure the Terran army doesn't get up back into 200 supply. Oh, no, the drone train! Oh, the drone train, why? Defensive Matrix Marines are in here attacking stuff. Loving that. Ultralisk actually stays alive with all of 4 HP. Can he save this right side base? I'm looking at it. And sort of, man, that one medevac is really saving the day here. Like, really saving the day here. Drone count falling for Sacsri. We've got Lings and Ultras shutting down that base, shutting down this base, kind of, but also getting drawn up into the main where they don't want to be. And that medic, who's responsible for so much death, finally goes down. Left side base attempted by Sacsri is dead again for one, I want to say, the 3rd time today. This might get an epic tag. I feel like I'm overusing them. I really do. But if the game deserves an epic tag, it deserves an epic tag. I don't know what else to tell ya. Yeah, just don't come over this way. Stay up this way. Stay up this way. Very smart. Very smart stuff. Liking that. That base is mined out. This base is mined out. Dude, the income for sOrry is suddenly basically nothing. He's got 2 mineral patches he's mining from. Did he irradiate the tank? I think he irradiated that tank. What the crap? What a weird day this is. Irradiated tank finally goes down. Regular Ultra goes down here too. Suddenly it's 88 to 90 total supply. The Queens are doing work. 2 kills, 2 kills, 1 kill, 2 kills, 2 kills. Is the Queen curse again going to be broken today? Can you break a curse more than once? I don't know. Big time base setup here for sOrry though. He's got it running. The army is basically Zerglings and Defilers and more Ultras in production all the time. Science Vessel's trying to find something to murder real fast as long as we're around. And sure, catching a Defiler is not a bad target at all. Scourge, though, you're a bit unsupported. Dude, losing these Science Vessels at the rate they've been dying, it's been very, very casual. Very casual for the Terran player today. He has lost way too many Science Vessels. Remember what I said, just count the number of Science Vessels a Terran player has to know how good their position is. It's not very good right now, and a lot of that has to do with these so few Science Vessels. Oh my gosh, is this working? Is this actually working for Sacsri? Dark Swarm, go! Another Dark Swarm. Oh, beautiful. Plague, consume. Dark Swarm, go! Very, very nice stuff. Get up there. Get those SCVs. No, don't come down here and die. Ugh. Control. Control is everything. And it's so hard to do in Brood War. I'm not telling him I can do any better. I'm absolutely not. But boy, sneaking over this way with the Queens, taking down 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 of these tanks would be awesome. Irradiating Queens is a really good strategy too, though, and that's why... I guess they want to get this one, which is fine. That's a lot of energy on that Science Vessel, too. Got him. Irradiate. He got one of the Queens. Separate it out. Oh, did he get... Okay, I thought I got 2 for a minute there. Dude, it's 101 and 96 supply. The Zerg player is in the lead. I don't even know what's happening here. This is one of the most amazing comebacks I have seen on the channel. Felt like Sacsri was at 120 supply the entire game. The Terran player was up. He had the better tech. He was irradiating all the things. He had the tanks. And then suddenly Sacsri's in a fantastically much better position than you would expect him to be. Okay, attacking into this is suicide. Don't do that. Like, no, but for real, don't do this. No, but I'm not... I'm telling you... Okay, well, alright. With some queen support, sure. Not bad. Tank down, tank down, tank down, tank down. And good game, Sacsri! What is your winner in 40 minutes and 29 seconds? What an insane turnaround. The queens, the MVPs of the match. All with 3 kills. That is a tank kill on every one of those queens, you should know. Wow. I mean, it feels a little premature, I'm not going to lie. These ultras are basically dead. I guess losing this income pretty much means that sOrry's out, right? This base is up and fully happening. Southern base is up too. sOrry doesn't have the 12 o'clock, and he doesn't have this. And again, there's nothing else anywhere else for him to harvest from. So losing access to his last source of income, the writing was on the wall. And he was done. So, dang. All right, so what we've seen... What we've seen here today is another way to beat a lot of tanks when you're Zerg. Handful of queens and just lings and ultralisks and defilers and trying to snipe down science vessels with Scourge. He researched drop, but I don't think he ever used it. And I think this way is harder, but I don't know. Dropping on the tanks, easier. Brooding in tanks, easier. And I think that is the combination you need to beat an elite Terran player. Hot diggity, Zerg players. You can rejoice. You can rejoice. Sacsri fought hard, and in the end, he did it. He did it for all of you. 326,000 points for sOrry, 360 for Sacsri. He produced 1,200 Zerg units. 1,200 Zerg units. Lost a full 950 of them. A bunch more from, I don't know, irradiate deaths and consume and stuff. Sure. Structures raised. 20 Zerg structures killed is a ton of Zerg structures in this game. Only killed 6 Terran structures. That's crazy, and he won. Mined more gas, mined more minerals, and outspent the Terran player by 7,000. And you need to do that. It's not a guarantee, right? It's not a guarantee that's going to do it, but ay caramba. What a match. What an absolutely insane match. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Zerg players, let's hear it from you. How happy are you about that win? I'm happy for sure. But all right, gotta go. So that's going to be it from me today. This has been a Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.